This is Boxing Tickets, and we are delighted to be joined. And I sort of shake my head and sort of scratch my head at the same time, but delighted to be joined for the very first time with fearless Feargal McCrory. How are you, Feargal?
Oh, good, mate. How you doing?
Oh, it's fantastic. I guess it's a different time zone to you. Obviously, in America at the moment, it's 25 past 8 here in Belfast, but I guess we're just over 3 weeks out again from probably it's now becoming a regular occurrence for you. You know, probably Madison Square Garden can sort of touch as being a positive and a negative for you. Obviously, you were supposed to be on a fight card there when COVID kicked off, and you're now back to back cards in MSG. So I'm sure you're loving life at the moment.
Yeah, it's where I've always wanted to be personally. It's where I have dreamt about being, worked to be, and I finally got here from Clonaux Boxing Club all them years ago in Coalisland to Madison Square Garden. It's nice. Now there was a lot of people involved, so many people involved that have helped me in getting to this point. But yeah, it's great to be here. But again, we can't rest on our laurels. We have to keep working hard every day, every single day, harder and harder and harder. And believe me, nothing comes easy.
I see obviously your stories and stuff there on a daily basis, and obviously I've seen you obviously out running in the snow and everything else. I guess it's the things people sometimes don't see in this sport. They just see you with the gloves on getting into fight, and they don't see the hard work and the preparation that goes in. Like people see you in America and going, you must be living a life, but you know people think in Ireland that the weather's bad at the moment, but it's 10 times worse where you're at.
Yeah, it's very cold here. Um, but I'm fighting a Mexican, and it's not snowing in Mexico. He's getting his road run done. He's getting all that stuff done. So hail, rain, or snow, I'm working. It doesn't matter. It's just it's part of the game. It's part of my job. It's part of the business, and we have to get our miles in, snow or not. And you know something, the snow actually isn't too bad. It's whenever the snow freezes, and it's good crack.
As long as you don't pull the handbrake on the trainers, you'll be all right.
Oh fuck, no, no. Whenever you get to my age, you can't pull no handbrakes. Have to gradually just slow it down.
Right. I know that feeling. I'm 10 years older than you. So Virgo, for you, you're a long time in this game. Like this, you're approaching now your ninth year as a pro. Like I was sort of saying before we started, with the 2 years or so we have with COVID, you can sometimes forget that. But like come way back to 2015, like and you're still only 31 as well. But you're a long time in this game. You've probably seen it all. Like I can remember obviously your last couple of fights I've seen in Belfast in the Europa Hotel and the Ulster Hall, but you can nearly write a book on obviously what you've been through as a pro.
Yeah, there's been a lot of ups and downs. COVID was a big setback, obviously, as it was for so many people, and it affected them more than not them, but there's people affected more by COVID than I could ever be. And if that is the worst thing that ever happens to me, then I'm doing all right. Uh, yeah, I've had what 15 fights now, so in those 9 years, I didn't realize it even was that long. But it is what it is, and we keep soldiering on and keep working hard and making doors open. So I feel good. I think I'm very fresh for my age. Also, I know I'm 31, but I'm fresh. I really am fresh.
You always seem, I've always seen that. Even you've always seemed dedicated and everything else. Like I can even remember back when you're fighting on I think you had actually a sickness, wasn't it, for the Burnett card? Remember you fought in the round
Yeah.
Burnett card, the matchroom card, and you were actually sick on the day of the fight, but you still fought. That was just, it's
Wow.
just that warrior instinct in you.
It was so bad. I remember sleeping in the changing rooms before John was going to pull me out, and he had been well within his right, and begged him and begged him to let me go, just let me go. And I remember he gave through a right hand, and I saw it coming. I couldn't even move, just coming straight down the pipe. Boom! I remember looking at him, and it was a good shot. It's a really good shot. Thank God, touch wood, of a good chin. Anyway, and I looked at him and I thought, right, I know you can't knock me out. Thank God, and it wasn't even that I was worried about him having the power. It was my sickness and weakness. I was vomiting and diarrhea and horrendous, horrific, so bad. And I don't even know how. It wasn't the weight. Like, it really wasn't weight. I've never been so bad on weight and struggled. Like, so it was no, and especially at that time, I was only, I don't know, probably 24, 25. It was, well, it was bad. It's bad, but there was so many people came to see me, and but you learn from these things. You like even now, what that taught me. If I feel a bit under the weather, like I was sparring today, for example, I had 10 great rounds today with three different people, great sparring. But if I had went in there today feeling a little bit under the weather, I would have went on and sparred, because if I feel this way when I go to fight, me and my coach know exactly what I'm capable of, and we can adjust our game plan to suit this. If I have a niggling injury, I go ahead and I work, because if this same thing happens me coming into the fight, maybe not this fight or the next fight, but maybe down the line, we know what we're capable of doing. We know how to build a game plan around this. We know what we're dealing with and how to approach it. So it's just finding these wee different things. But if I'm ever as sick as I was then, I think I would really have to consider. Oh God, I don't even want to talk about that. Let's not talk about it. No
uh,
way.
with you obviously now, I guess fulfilling the dream, like everybody obviously grows up, it's sort of having dreams and visions, obviously venues of fought in. Like obviously I know the last time out, obviously in Madison Square Garden was a 6 rounder. This time around it's going to be for a title. Like will it still feel still like a dream to you when you walk out on the 15th of March? Will it still feel like a dream sort of walking out there? Or now you've done it and experienced it, can you probably enjoy it more?
You know, people ask me, how did it feel walking out to fight in the garden whenever it's just where I've craved to be and longed and desired to always be in it? I don't know, because we have a job to do. And if we don't win, we have to win. Have to go in there, we have to win, we have to perform. And you have to be able to look back. Personally, how I look at it, I have to be able to look back on it with good memories. I can't get caught up and be looking around me like a rabbit in the headlights and think, oh, look where I am. Nah, no, no way. We're going into battle, and I've sacrificed an awful lot. And this is a hard business. It's a hard game, and I can't get caught up in anything in the emotional side of it. And no, it's great to be there. Yes, absolutely. But I have to be able to look back in years to come and think, oh, that was nice. That was really nice. Like a man said to me one day, we went to Dublin with a friend of mine to a hurling match. Kilkenny and Clare were playing. We met his brother, and he says, "Geez, it must be very proud of yourself being in America fighting." And this is when I realized. I thought about it, and I said, "No, no way," because the same thing I'm saying to you, I can't get caught up in that. It's where I've always wanted to be. It's what I've always wanted to do. But we look back, hopefully, in years to come, and I can sit down and look back and think, yeah, it was nice, that was good, that was great. But I can't get caught up in anything. We're just working hard every day, on everything we do. Everything we do. I'm out here, I eat, sleep, and I train. That's it. That's all I do. And regardless of whether it's a garden or anywhere, it's me, him, and a referee, and he's coming to take my head off.
It's another, it's sort of like you're building the blocks is sort of where your dreams and aspirations are. And if you sometimes sit and think about it for too long, then this complacency kicking and you go, I've got here, and then it's like it's the hunger to sort of take yourself to the next level. I remember obviously Ryan Burnett, obviously whenever he became world champion, he dreamed of it for so long, and then when he had it, he was going, is this it? Because he maybe got caught up in the moment. I'm not obviously 100% sure on his story of that, but he got there, and I guess it's the hunger to sort of go on further. Yes, don't get me wrong. Probably if Ryan didn't have his injury, we'd probably still be looking and counting how many titles he'd have now because he was a phenomenal talent.
Unbelievable. Out of this world. What a fighter.
It's people do all these dream matchups now, and obviously I guess the dream matchup he would have probably loved would obviously have been an UE. It would have never have gotten. To think we could now be sitting. I know that Frampton and Steve Collins and everybody else is up the top of the list high, and with Burnett, he he doesn't get the satisfaction and the gratification that he probably deserves because his career was cut short.
Yeah, but to be a unified champion of the world, something very, very special. You know, he retired. I know he was injured, but it was a back injury. I'm sure he's got his house paid off. He has two very nice belts sitting up on the mantelpiece. You know, we'll love it forever and ever. He'll be an Irish boxing legend. And pound for pound, quite arguably the very, very best that Ireland's ever produced. You know, I know that could be up for a lot of debate because his career didn't go on as long as the others that you mentioned, even the likes of a Wayne McCullough and well, you got Katie Taylor as well. Like, wow! But Ryan Burnett was very, very special. You know,
When you sort of, I guess as a boxer, when you sort of look at the list of legends we have, is well, I guess for quite a long time we probably punched above our weight. When obviously we see the amount of talent that's probably coming through now, and I know we obviously, we'll be approaching now 5 years since we've one of the four legitimate sort of world titles as we classify it. It's only a matter of time, isn't it, before we have another one?
yeah, I would hope so. I would hope so. I don't think we've punched above our weight. I think we have delivered on the highest level in amateur boxing from the Andy Lee days, which would have been what, 2002, maybe. Um, and then after that, the ball got rolling, and we delivered. Ireland, I said Ireland delivered at the Olympics. Northern Ireland delivered at the Commonwealth Games, the World Championships, Europeans. We're always medaling. So I don't think we've punched above our weight. I think we are possibly punching below our weight if it's that long since we've had one of the top four titles in Ireland. I mean, you take this young crop coming through your Paddy Donovan and Kieran Malloy. I think Kieran Malloy is very, very special. I really do. I think he's the one. I think he's superstar material if he's led correctly, which I'm sure he will be. Gets the right opportunities. You got Luke Lewis Crocker with a puncher. And all those three lads at the one weight, I think, are they?
All the same weight, welter weight.
Fuck me, mad. So yeah, we're probably punching under a bit. I think this past number of years, if we haven't delivered that, McConnell was unlucky against Lee Wood. So hopefully it's not too long until we get one of those big four back in Ireland. Absolutely.
I know obviously your weight, your natural weight is super featherweight. Obviously, Anto Kakachi is obviously going to be fighting Joe Cordina in May, and John O'Carroll is going to be fighting for the WBA belt as well. So, like, even in your weight class, we could potentially have two world champions this year.
Unbelievable. I would love to see them two lads doing it, honestly. I'm friendly with Jono, and I know Anto. Two great lads. I'd be so happy for them personally, like just for two Irishmen to get over that line, because I know how hard it is. And they're nice. They're nice lads too. They're not fucking idiots, like, And I'll be roaring and supporting them. So with everything I have, I'd love them to get over the line and get it done. And Anto deserves a bit of luck. He's had so much bad luck. It's unbelievable. Jono has been a little bit under the radar of late, but he's bided his time and now he's gotten his chance. And I think Jono's a handful for anyone. Like, he's just a fucking handful. He never stops. Great lads, two great lads, brilliant. I'd love them to get it done. Imagine an Irish unification. Why not dream?
It's them as well as I do. John O'Carroll and Ando Kakachi, if them two fought, they'd sell out the SSE arena in 24 hours because they're two legitimate nice guys. They probably don't need the smack talk either because people know them for just being hard work and everything else. But like I think that'd be obviously another history defining moment. Two Irishmen in a unification world titles in Ireland. That'd be crazy.
Yeah. Whew. Brilliant. Unreal. And I hope the two of them get massive money for these fights. I hope they win the fights and they get more money again after it. I really do. They deserve it.
Speaking obviously on your fight, obviously on the 15th of March, it's probably your biggest probably fight since you probably left Ireland from fighting in 2019, and obviously you're fighting a Mexican and Carlson.
Carlson, yeah.
Yeah, it's nearly one of them names. You probably couldn't decide couldn't decide a first name for him, so they sort of used the surname. Sort of, it nearly would remind you of one of the strong men. Remember the strong men like Magnusson and things like that. They always had double names.
I hope he's not as strong. I hope he's not as strong as that one. Yeah.
It wouldn't be like
you know something I don't, maybe.
It wouldn't be like you, Feargal. You wouldn't turn down any challenge, and particularly obviously fighting a Mexican in Madison Square Garden. It's a perfect scenario for you. Obviously, two fighting men. Obviously, Irish and Mexicans are regarded as being the most strong-hearted and strong-willed. It's the perfect opponent for you for a title fight in MSG.
Well, I'll tell you, for the first time in my life, I turned an opponent down for this fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because his record was horrendous. So wait here, I'll tell you a funny story. Like first opponent sent to me was a Dominican Republic lad, 17 wins and 1 loss. Yeah, no problem. Next opponent sent to me. So obviously this guy fell through, maybe wanted too much money or something. I don't know. Anyway, sent me this other lad. Don't know what his name was, but he had 5 wins. None of them came against anyone with a winning record. 2 losses and 2 draws. And his 2 losses came, one of them was against someone with a losing record and stuff. Now, don't get me wrong, I'll take my hat off to anybody who gets in the fight. I'm not knocking him, like, but at this stage in my career, I wanted something more. So I was like, no, I'm not fighting him. Get me somebody like the last boy. That last boy won't fight. Get me someone like him. So next thing, I get these 2 requests on Instagram, message requests. So I'm like, who's this? Like, these 2 fucking idiots messaging me, calling me names. You should have fought whatever his name is. I don't even know. And I was like, I'm not even getting into it. I'm not even getting into it. But anyway, Carlson is already confirmed, and they're messaging me saying you should have fought him and you should have took this fight, and your lad just wanted to lock a pound. I know that, like, but he was no benefit to me. So that's actually the first fight in my life I ever turned down was this fucking Yahoo. But yeah, Carlson, Mexican, Madison Square Garden, Paddy's Day. Look, it's let's go. Let's go.
It's sort of taking you back, it's taking you back a couple of years. Obviously, I think it's supposed to be around the same time when obviously the COVID card. So it's coming up, what, 4 years? 4 years. So it's sort of nearly like a deja vu. It's sort of going back in time. But like, you sell quite a lot of tickets. Obviously, I know you sold quite a lot of tickets for the last card, and you'll sell probably a lot of tickets for this card as well. You probably be the biggest seller on the card, probably second to none. So you don't want people to be short.
Definitely.
You don't want people to be shortchanged, and you have an opponent there, they get punched in the jaw and they fall down.
No, and the thing about Mexicans are they're so proud. They're a proud race of people, and I have so much respect for them. Some of my favorite fighters are Mexican. He's coming to upset the apple cart. He's coming to stand there and fight and deliver, and I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait to go. I mean, I'm buzzing. I'm so excited. Like I'm excited for everything. I'm excited for the platform, for the opportunity, and I'm grateful for the opportunity. But I'm excited for the fight. I can't wait to get in there and feel him hitting me. I can't wait to hit him back. I can't wait to go into the trenches. Let's go to places that I've never been. Let test my heart. Please test my heart. Write me off. Doubt me. Do what you want, but judge me after this fight.
You're definitely getting me pumped here. You're all excited.
I'm ready to go. Just buzzing.
3 weeks.
But it's controlled. Everything's controlled. Everything I'm doing there's reason for everything we do here. Everything that we do, there's a reason for it. Whether it be my conditioning, my runs, my sprints, my my sparring, my bag work, my pads, everything has a meaning and a reason for doing it. It's just down to me to deliver. And that's it.
What's changed in you as a fighter since obviously your days of fighting in Belfast? Obviously, I guess you have probably a different level of sparring and stuff like that in America. Like, what's changed in you as a fighter? In these 4 or 5 years?
What's changed in me is many things. You grow up, you become more mature, more experienced. When you share the ring with people with different styles that you haven't seen, you learn a lot. You learn the hard way too, starting off. Um, but what's changed in me also as a fighter is I'm not out working on the roads. I'm not road running at 5 or 6 in the morning to go and work on the roads all day, to go train at night in Belfast, to drive back to Pomeroy where I live now with my family. But that was a big hindrance. But it's got me here. It showed me and showed a few people of how hungry and dedicated I am and was and remain and will always remain while I'm still an active fighter. But I see things different. What I do know is for a long time in Ireland, um, with my experience, tough was enough. You're tough out here, you will be bait stupid. Tough is not enough. You need to be tough, yeah. Yeah, you gotta have balls. You gotta be prepared to get emptied on a regular basis. You have to be very, very smart. Because if you're not smart and you're not calculated and you're not approaching things in a certain way, and you're going in with some sort of bravado with your chest out, looking to stand and go to war every day, you're going to get fucked up out here. And that's just how it is. Like, there's a few sparring partners I have and have had that are from South America, and you do a round or two with them, and it's like, we get out and a new one get in. They just don't stop. You have to be very smart in how you go around your business. But it's great. It's great. I love it. I love it. I love the whole atmosphere of being in America too. I have so much support from so many great people, unbelievable people out here that help me in ways that you couldn't imagine. If there's something that a group of people can do to take it away from me doing, they do it, and they do it to the best of their ability. Whether it be cooking food, preparing food, whether it be sorting out tickets, getting the sparring and sorting out flights, sorting out whatever, whatever it is. There's people on hand that aren't even getting anything in return. They just want to help. And there's so many people I can't even start naming them because I'll forget someone and I'll hate myself for it. But there's so many people that are such a big part of what is going on out here and have made this possible to the point of I don't know how I'll ever repay them. I mean, there's people at home who done stuff for me out here and would never take anything in return. Don't even want mentioned for what they done. And if they hadn't done what they done from before COVID, there would be no me fighting out here, and that's fact. And these people don't even want mentioned. Like, no, don't tell anybody what we done. Tell nobody. Like, I thank them all the time on a regular basis. I do. But the great people. The support out here is so good,
It's
so good.
it's them people you need in your life sometimes because, as you well know, in this boxing game, obviously someone will want to do something, and then when you go, okay, you can do it, then it's like, much you pay me. It's like money's always much you pay me. The,
Yeah.
the final one, obviously, I guess I want to sort of get off with you, obviously, before we finish. Obviously, your family back home, obviously, these sacrifices you're having to make, you're probably missing birthdays and everything else with this. Does that just become part and parcel of the job that you have, that you just obviously have to go, you know, for your dreams, you're having to sort of be selfish in some ways, but for your dreams and your aspirations will then pay for the future for obviously kids and things like that in the future?
Yeah, well, it's tough. It's never easy. It's never easy. You know, my daughter understands the concept of time now. You know, she understands what 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 weeks is. She knows how long that is. My son has no idea, but he just knows that when daddy goes away and he's not in his van, his work van, then it's a possibility he's not coming back for a while. You know, so it's tough. But I have a great wife who who does so much for me and our family, and without her, she's unbelievable. Um, she deserves a lot of credit. But we have great families back home too that help her family and mine. Um, I miss birthdays, I miss christenings, weddings, whatever it may be, because of my business as such, and my source of income. And like, will boxing set them up financially for the rest of our life? No, it won't. And people talk about how they make money from boxing. It's very, very few, very, very few. And but what I hope it does for my kids above all, as don't get me wrong, I'd love to have a few million, like it'd be nice, but
It would be nice.
it'd be nice, wouldn't it? But it would be the principles of it. You know, you want something, go and get it. There's going to be obstacles. It's going to be tough. But you have to stick at it. Nothing comes easy. You have to find yourself someone that supports you 100%, like my wife has, and you just got to go after it. So I hope that they, if nothing else, can take the hard work ethic out of it, the dedication side, and make sacrifices and chase their dreams. And look, if they fall short, that's all right. But as long as they really go after something that they want to do, and like people say, often hear people saying, if you find something, if you do something you love, you'll never work a day in your life. I love fighting, but Jesus Christ, it's hard work.
Mm.
And I hope, like after boxing, whatever I do is a hell of a lot easier work than this. You know, this is hard. It's hard. Like it's.
What keeps you
But
going? What keeps you going? Fergal, with it. When it, because I can understand. Obviously, speaking to so many fighters and things like that. What keeps you going when it is hard? Is it just the dreams and the goals you've set yourself? Is that what keeps you going? Is it not wanting to give up? Is it that stubbornness? What is it that keeps you going?
it's a good question. Um, it's a good question because you definitely. I don't get up every morning buzzing, ready to go to work. Like, you know, I just do it. I can't put my finger on it. It has to be done, and I do it. And as I'm sitting here talking about it, I think the reason is I know when I go to fight then that if I, for talk's sake, clip him with a good shot and he wobbles, that I can go to work and not question myself in the back of my head as to whether or not I'm going to be fit enough if he doesn't go. Or if I remember Frank Irvin. We were talking with, God rest him, with Billy Walsh, and we had a meeting with Billy. I was on the Irish team at the time, but you met Billy every, I don't know, he was the head man at the time, so you met him every 4 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever it was. I'm not sure now. I was in the juniors, and Frank had been talking to Billy before. But anyway, I says to Billy, I would rather be mentally right for a fight than physically right for a fight. He says, what do you mean? He says, well, I says, I know every single time I'm going to win. I know when I'm going to win, and I know when I'm going to lose. He says, right. He says, well, here's one for you. So this is what Billy told me, and I believe that this is what's in my head as to why I have to go every day. And this is going back now, Stephen, about 16, no, 14, 13, 14 years. And he says to me, you can tell me and you can tell Frank that you're doing your road running. You can tell us you're on your diet. You can tell us you're doing your circuit. You can tell us everything you want to tell us, but you know what you're doing. You know the sacrifices you're making. You know the work that you're doing. So for you to be physically right for a fight, for you to be mentally right for a fight, you have to be physically right for a fight. And he was right. So I think that is my get up and go. I can't have this in my head that I didn't do this because I didn't want to, because it was too cold outside, because it was snowing, because it was raining, because it's dark, because I didn't sleep good. Like, fuck it, go. You don't have to break your record. It's not about PBs. It's about getting shit done. And mentally, I know I've never ever regretted training. I've always regretted when I haven't trained, but I've never regretted having done the session. So I think it's the mental side that keeps me to be mentally right going into that fight, to know I'm ready for whatever happens.
Definitely. Well, look, obviously, I know the time is just about to run out. I guess there's a lot of things that we can take from the interview. And obviously, some of it's motivational and everything else. So, if we can motivate someone through the interview, Virgo, we've done our job today.
Yeah. Here, I'm not one of those agents that everything's all rosy. Like, it's far from it. But get up and just get shit done. Just get it done.
Definitely. Well, look, I can finally say it's been a pleasure to interview you. Obviously, it's hopefully going to be the first one, because I know it gets lonely and everything else, obviously, out in America in camp. So hopefully we can get another one planned when obviously you pick up your title now on the 15th of March. But I want to thank you, Fergal, for obviously your time. Obviously, we're rooting for you, obviously, on the 15th of March. Get that belt around your waist, and then let's call someone else out.
Thank you, Stephen. Thanks for your time. And it's great to finally get on.
Definitely. Thanks very much, Fergal.
Let's make it a regular occurrence. Thanks.
No problem. Cheers. Take care. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye.